Those of you who dated older women, how was the experience? In my early 40s after my wife passed, I only wanted to date women near my age. As it turned out, I dated several women in their mid-50s. Absolutely lovely, grounded and decent partners. Career women with some struggles but lovely hearts and fantastic lovers. It was simply great. Then I got me a young lady 8 months apart, you sillies, and have been happily married since. She's just all the things. Currently with the love of my life. She is nearly 20 years older and I love every second I can spend with her. I never want children and she can have any more, so works well in that department. The only thing I ever feel bad about is the money. I can't afford to travel the world with her yet, but I work hard every day to make sure that we can make those memories together before I die. A few long FWB women 8-10 years older than me when I was bartending. Entrepreneurs, businesswomen, slim, stacked, always way out of my league. Understandable if it was just no strings attached sex with a younger, more energetic guy, but we'd hang out, have lunch dates, go shopping, and I'd just be confused as fuck as to how or why it's happening when they could have anyone they want. I'm 43 and the woman I dated was in her 70s, don't judge. It wasn't too bad on our first couple of dates, and on the third we went to her house. Started off okay, we watched a movie and ordered a pizza. One thing led to another and all of a sudden we decided to take things upstairs. She proceeded to show me her stair chair lift, and that's when she drove me up the fucking wall. She was 10 years older than me, 26, and I really loved her. We just really appreciated each other. She had the kids whom I adored, ages 10, 8, and 3G, B, a ready-made family. I was quite content. She wanted to get her tubal ligation reversed so she could give me a child. I didn't want that. I wasn't mature enough to get us through it. I wish I met her earlier in our lives. My boyfriend is 16 years younger than me. We met on Reddit and have been together for a year. This is my first age gap relationship. He has had a tougher life than I have and I believe he is far more mature than me in many different ways. I often forget our decade-and-a-half gap. He is funny, smart and sexy. He and I are going to share the same last name in a year or so. When I was 18, I apparently found a thing for 23-year-old women. Disclaimer: being under 21 had nothing to do with it. Dated one I had met at a concert for a short time, but, yeah, that didn't go well. So, at 19, I ended up finding another 23-year-old woman. That's panned out great so far, though she gets kinda mad when I point out she's over 40 and I'm still in my 30s. Oof, amazing! Right now talking to an 52-year-old from Brazil. She's a widow of 20 years. I'm 30 meters, her energy is amazing, cooks like jazz and gorgeous looking. I try to spend as much time with her as I can. Show me how to cook many things from scratch. I can't keep my eyes off her. We one time had drinks and did shrooms. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. Beautiful soul she is. I was 33, she was 43. She looked way younger though, fucked like a champion. The big downside was I was pretty new to the city. She had been there for 20 years. She just wanted to relax and watch television at the end of a long day. I wanted to go out to shows, get drunk, get to know the town. It didn't work out after 4 months or so. We were both better for it. When I was 30 I dated a 42 UF. It was pretty great. She was grounded, successful, easygoing, and she knew what she wanted and didn't want from life. Eventually, she decided we weren't working out as a couple, so she made me breakfast, broke up with me very matter-of-factly, took me to bed one last time, and said goodbye. It was the best breakup I've ever had. I was 22, she was 44. We watched Dazed and Confused, had very intimate sex. Then the next day she sent me off with a fresh breakfast and made some strawberry jam granola bars for me for the gym. 10/10, would recommend. It helped that she and I were both easygoing and she was 8 months out of the divorce and I think also wanted something just casual and fun. When I was in my early 20s, I seemed to only be attracted to women in their mid-30s. I found them far less self-conscious sexually, and far more seductive. Both sides kind of know it's not forever, but it was some of the most enjoyable, and instructive, sex in my life. I don't think I have ever dated a woman my age or less. Older women are the best. I can't really compare the experience because it was my first and only relationship so far. I was 27 or 28 at the time and she is 10 years older. It was a nice FWB relationship. The sex was amazing. After a year, I decided that we shouldn't be together. I was insecure and it wasn't fair for her. We're still friends and we talk from time to time. I was poached a lot when I was in my early 20s by cougars. I liked it. But I preferred women my own age. I moved to the city when I was in my late teens and there was a grocery store near me where I shopped and all these rich older women shopped there. I was like a piece of meat there. I don't think I ever went there and didn't get picked up. I dated 4 women in their 30s when I was in my early 20s. Amazing sex with lots of passionate talks and nights. Unfortunately I wasn't mature enough for older women then. I was far too carefree to provide a stable life for an older woman. I didn't cheat or anything, I just didn't like to stay in one place for long. I needed to see the world. I was 30, she was 49, and it was amazing. Sex was unbelievable. No BS, no strings, all fun. She was recently divorced back then and I knew her for years prior, lasted about a year and a half. We weren't actually dating but we went on vacations together. For some reason she loved fucking in Cuba, she turned into a damn freak there. Not really dated but did a casual sex with an older woman as my first, it was awesome. She was a friend's mom I slept with once while spending the night at his house. I was 19, she was 57, she seemed enthusiastic about the age difference. Admittedly I was kinda intrigued by it myself, plus she was hot for her age. She didn't like how young women behave these days. She was a great woman but she wasn't having any bullshit with me or anyone. She didn't play games, was very serious woman, had a ton of great advice on everything, had a great sexual appetite and never asked me too much to money, just didn't do any young woman crap. We met 13 years ago, he was 21 and I was 30. We were inseparable with an amazing bond, amazing sex life. We tried our best not to go down that road but when a person feels like home, there is nothing that can separate you. We got married in February this year. I am the happiest little wife. Up yours, haters. I'm a 22-year college student and honestly they are the best. They teach you a lot in the bedroom and know what they like. They gave me a lot of self-confidence and self-esteem that I didn't have and now I am doing very well. There were 6 of them between 29 and 37 years old and haven't had a bad experience as of yet. When I was 23 I dated a woman in her mid-30s who I met while traveling. She was very much more grounded than girls I'd been with before that, and I learned a lot from being with someone who told me what they wanted in bed and out. I grew a lot from that relationship, and I consider her my first real love. I dated a 25-year-old woman when I was 19, and a 37-year-old woman when I was 28. The 25-year-old one in the future was way too clingy and not very sexual despite being very attractive. The 37-year-old was very independent and liked sex a lot. She actually looked better than the 25-year-old, praise cheapness. I suppose now that it wouldn't be much of a difference but at the time I was 20 years old and she was 30. She certainly knew what she wanted and taught me how to please a woman. It didn't work out for us because it was a bit too weird for her. I was just a toy boy. Great sex and lots of expensive dinners. I am marrying a person 11 years older than I am. She is emotionally and intellectually mature. Doesn't play emotional games like a lot of people around my age. Very down to earth and straightforward. Very realistic when it comes to expectations. Very nurturing. Overall, dating older women is A+. Age doesn't guarantee maturity, character, wisdom, or intelligence. One of my top 2 regrets was ever getting involved with one. I had no confidence and I didn't go for low-hanging fruit, I went for fallen fruit. Sometimes books do match their covers. She's as shitty inside as she is physically. I was 22, and she was 42. She had her shit together and didn't have time for bullshit. She knew what she wanted, how she wanted it. Loved to give me instructions and I was a good listener. Lasted about 6 weeks. I couldn't go back to dating younger girls. They have too much baggage to deal with. I'm 52 and he's 42. It's been 2 years. I don't know that we are very much alike but I absolutely adore him and respect him. He doesn't get his feelings hurt that I make more money than he does and neither of us is in any sort of rush to get married. We just do what we do. Life is good. My wife is 9 years older than me. I was attracted to her from the jump because she didn't need anything from me, not even kids. I love the whole package. Still like any other relationship when it boils down to it, but we're great together. I keep her young and she made me grown up. It was a lot of fun for 2 years. We had a 20-year gap. Everything was fine and fun until we went out to eat and our waiter asked if my mom and I would like some dessert, unamused face. Never the same after that. We both knew it wasn't going to last forever. We still keep in touch to this day. I was twice times with older women, 8 and 12 years older than me. And it was really great. They are settled, No bullshit, experienced, with clear picture of what they like but without being bossy, just confident women. And I searched that later in my next partners, that confidence. I'm 36 and my fiancé is now 47. We met on Tinder when the ages were 30-40 and became great friends. Got into a relationship about 2 ago from now. She is my best friend and I've never been more content with anyone. Echoing previous user who said she ruined younger women for me. When I was 23 I dated a 28-year-old and it was cool BC she didn't have kids. I am now 28 and I dated a 35-year-old and she was awesome but she had a kid and I think she got jealous of the freedom I had. I now have a couple flings, most are 22-24 years old, and people looking odd at me already when I tell them my GF is 34 while I'm 32. We are 2 years apart. Get comments like "you're handsome and successful, why don't you go for a younger one?" Just made me realize I needed to cut these people out of live. Great. Except both had kids and while I'm cool with kids I never really saw a future in it. Nothing to do with any of the specific kids, or that they weren't mine, it was more just like I don't think I'm an appropriate person to be taking care of a kid. I'm attracted to older women because of maturity. I'm 23 and I can't deal with the immaturity in my age group. Also most people my age are still getting their life together. It's a lot easier for me to talk to older women, straight to the point and no BS. My first GF was 5 years older than me, so not a huge age gap but still it was too much at the time. First couple of months were okay but we split up because we're at totally different stages in life and just didn't fit at all. She was 29 and I was 24,